Everything that is explained in this video is summarized from CoinMarketCap. Now take a look at this. Ripple clashes with SEC over proposed multi-billion-dollar penalty. The continuing legal dispute between Ripple and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has recently escalated to a new level as the regulatory agency has suggested a significant financial punishment against the blockchain business. Ripple's XRP coin is being classified as a security, and this action brings to light the seriousness of the controversy that has been going on around this categorization. This action shows an aggressive approach towards Ripple, even though the SEC has been known to experience failures in cases that are comparable to this one. The stakes are rising since the latter half of the year 2020. Ripple has been embroiled in a legal dispute with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, with several legal issues, including the Hyman documents and the Howey test playing critical roles. The primary issue has not been settled, even though some partial judgments have been issued. The Securities and Exchange Commission is currently advocating for significant fines as a deterrent for Ripple's failure to comply with securities rules. A total of $1.9 billion in penalties, which are broken down into disgorgement, prejudgment, interest, and civil penalties, were submitted to the court by the legal team representing the Securities and Exchange Commission to accurately reflect the magnitude of unregistered XRP sales that Ripple has done over several years. The amount of the fines has been calculated. USC pressure tactics are being questioned. The Securities and Exchange Commission SEC maintains that Ripple can cover the punishment without any difficulty. However, critics such as Jeremy Hogan have expressed concerns about the potential impact on individual investors. This is because the business may be required to sell a considerable number of XRP in order to pay the penalty, which may potentially bring the market price of the coin down. It is the position of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, that the fines are a consequence of Ripple's continued sale of XRP despite earlier legal warnings. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, has accused the Securities and Exchange Commission of aiming to punish and intimidate Ripple in response to the SEC's strong posture. As the legal battle between Ripple and the SEC continues to play out, the company intends to provide a formal response to the proposed fines in April. A somewhat startling turn of events has occurred. The Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States has ordered that Ripple be subject to a fine of $2 billion. A tough stance against the agency's requests has been taken by Ripple's chief executive officer, Brad Garlinghouse. In response to the shocking demands, Garlinghouse is committed to exposing the true nature of the Securities and Exchange Commission set. Criticizing the demands of the SEC, Ripple's CEO, Ripple's chief legal officer, Clay, Stuart Alderoty, recently revealed in a post on X, which was formerly known as Twitter, that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has submitted a petition to a judge requesting that Ripple pay fines and penalties totaling $2 billion. As stated by the chief legal officer of Ripple, the Securities and Exchange Commission is more concerned with punishing and intimidating Ripple than it is with faithfully enforcing the law. Garlinghouse emphasized that the SEC has continually operated above the bounds of law in a variety of enforcement proceedings, the reason being that he was challenging the $2 billion penalties that the SEC had imposed. According to him, judges have also taken note of the acts performed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, they have already reprimanded the agency for its excessive abuse of the power that Congress has delegated to it. The chief executive officer of Ripple also voiced his disapproval of the SEC's demand for punishment, claiming that it is devoid of precedent and explanation. This is especially true because the case does not contain any claims, findings of fraud or carelessness. Consequently, Garlinghouse has pledged to expose the Securities and Exchange Commission for its behavior, highlighting the fact that Ripple will strongly respond to the action taken by the SEC. It is noteworthy that Alderoty has indicated that the legal team of the firm will respond to the demands made by the SEC in a filing that is expected to take place the following month. Ripple's chief legal officer provided his perspective on the Securities and Exchange Commission issue, describing the organization as one that trades in statements that are false, mischaracterized, and designed to create confusion. What affects XRP holders the most are SEC actions. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission filed a complaint against Ripple, accusing the payment startup of breaking securities laws by selling XRP to investors in the United States through an unregistered securities offering. The government agency asserted that the business and its officials had failed to protect their investors by failing to provide them with sufficient disclosures. XRP, on the other hand, members of the Ripple community say that the SEC's enforcement activities against Ripple have not protected investors, but rather produced even more severe difficulties and financial losses for holders of XRP. When Bitcoin whales remove a staggering $2.3 billion from exchanges, is it time to buy? Was he related reading for more information? According to a well-known XRP fan who goes by the name XRP Crypto Wolf, the Securities and Exchange Commission, it should be the one to pay billions of dollars to XRP holders, not Ripple. Given that they are the ones who have caused the most financial harm to holders of XRP, the Securities and Exchange Commission's request for $2 in billion in penalties is absurd. Tens of billions of dollars are overdue to holders of XRP, according to a statement. Recently, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, disclosed that the Securities and Exchange Commission is seeking fines and penalties totaling $2 billion in its current action against Ripple Labs for the selling of XRP cryptocurrency. This information was disclosed by Alderoty. The complications that Ripple will have to deal with in the days ahead are highlighted by this disclosure. Does Ripple find itself caught up in the web of the SEC once more? In what direction is this case going? Regarding the CC's explosive motion, the legal community has a variety of opinions. In a recent statement, a legal expert provided commentary on the most recent step in the ongoing legal struggle between Ripple Labs and the SEC. This commentary offered insight on the potential ramifications that this development may have for Ripple. Senior legal counsel Lee Heppner voiced substantial alarm regarding the issue, describing it as explosive. Heppner's words highlighted the gravity of the problem. Ripple is being asked to pay a stunning $2 billion in fines and penalties for alleged violations relating to the sale of XRP to the Securities and Exchange Commission. The summary highlights the seriousness of the SEC action. The analysis conducted by Heppner demonstrates that Ripple is now in a highly precarious position in the current situation. It was brought to his attention that the motion filed by the SEC describes Ripple's alleged reckless disregard for law, which suggests that Ripple continued to engage in this pattern of behavior even after a federal court had reached a verdict of liability against the company. The severity of the allegations made by the SEC is demonstrated by this image, which depicts Ripple as purposefully evading its regulatory obligations. The Securities and Exchange Commission SEC is demanding that Ripple pay a staggering $2 billion in fines and penalties. They contend that this punishment is essential to deter further violations of the rules, recompense investors who have been negatively impacted, and force Ripple to take responsibility for the alleged illegal conduct it has taken. It is a significant matter since Ripple has a history of disobeying regulations and breaking rules, and the Securities and Exchange Commission wants to send a clear message.